Right, it's that time of season again. We're doing predictions. Probably going to come back to bite us in about 9 months' time. So happy days with that one. My predictions, I was asked to see who's going to go down in the Premier League. I honestly think there could be any of about 7 or 8 teams. We've seen 14 sackings last season, I think it was, in the Premier League as everyone scrambled around to try and save themselves. But this year I've gone Sheffield United to go down. I think they'll finish second bottom because I think Luton, as much as I'd love them to stay up because it would just be funny that Kenilworth Road is still a Premier League stadium in the next couple of years. That would be hilarious. But I do think Luton are going to go down with something to remember them by, which will be the all-time lowest points record. I think Derby's 11 points is in danger of being broken. Probably happy for Derby fans to hope that one is the way it goes. But I think they'll go down. And my third choice of team to go down is a team that's flirted for it for a couple of years now. I think it'll be Everton. I think Everton will struggle. I feel like we've seen Dyche be in charge now for like 6 or 7 months, and I don't think we've seen enough of an improvement with Everton to give them any sort of hope this season as things are going to get better. I think they struggle for goals. I think defensively they're okay. But if you've got nothing going forward, if your defence has a blinder every week, you can draw 0-0. And I don't think that's something which Everton fans can look at. They've got no money to spend, really. They've not signed a new striker. Neil Maupay scoring you 3 goals a season, I think that's not going to be enough for them. I think they'll be in trouble. But the only way Everton stay up, in my opinion, is if there's 3 teams worse than them. And it sounds like a cliche. Find me the cliche, Bell. But I don't think Everton will stay up. So I think the time in the Premier League is going to come to an end.
As a football fan that grew up in the 90s, it feels very strange to be saying Manchester United are going to be dark horses this season, but I think Manchester United could be dark horses this season. Now, they're miles off City, they're miles off Arsenal, but at the same time, if they put in a title challenge, I don't think it would be absolutely ridiculous. Ten Hag, the project there seems to be working. He's making the good players in Manchester United's team better, and he's filling the blanks with his transfer targets as well. I mean, not Anua, I said that earlier. Anana, what's his name? He is an upgrade on David De Gea. Højlund is not Haaland, and I think Manchester United fans who think he's going to come into the Premier League and score 36 are a little bit delusional. But at the same time, you could see him easily scoring 10. He's got the right attributes to be a Premier League striker, and he's an upgrade on about Vethurst as well. So I think, if Manchester United are there at the top of the table come the end of the season, I wouldn't be massively shocked. I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be massively shocked.
So for my best signing, I've gone for Christopher Nkunku for Chelsea. I just think that in the last few years, it's been a pretty obvious massive void for Chelsea that they've not had a good striker to basically put goals in. And I think for Chelsea, probably since Diego Costa, they've been lacking that dynamic, almost 9.5 type striker to actually just get the goals in. And I think for Nkunku, has been really impressive in pre-season. He's a player who can be super versatile across the front three. And I just think for Chelsea, after last season of having to watch Kai Havertz fall over his 2 right feet, I think now will be the perfect time to actually bring him in. And that follows me nicely onto the worst signing of the summer, which I do think is Kai Havertz. And I know I've been seeing a hell of a lot of Arsenal fans comparing him to Robin van Persie, but I kind of beg the question, which is, do you not have to be able to finish goals to actually be Robin van Persie? I think for Kai Havertz, he'll be a much more of a structural and more methodical type player where you play him against a certain team to disrupt their midfield like they did against Manchester City in the Community Shield. And I just think for Arteta, the main way he's going to try and get the title is if he uses his actual real out-and-out strikers, which is Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus.
Conversely, though, I think Sheffield United, the other team to come up from the Championship, will drop down to the Championship once again. I think they'll finish in the bottom 3. I also think that West Ham United, with the way things are going there, they've really struggled to bring in players this summer. There seems to be a bit of conflict behind the scenes with David Moyes and the new sporting director. I'm really struggling to see how they're going to get out of trouble. They found it really tough last season, just about staying up towards the end of the campaign, and they've lost their key man, Declan Rice, without replacing him so far. So I think West Ham will struggle. And also Fulham. Mitrovic, someone who's had his head turned by the Saudi League, is still in situ at Craven Cottage, but for how much longer? Marco Silva as well, he's been involved with the Saudi League. He turned down a £40 million deal to move to the Middle East. Has that upset the apple cart at Craven Cottage? Who knows? And also, João Paulinho, their star central midfielder, is injured for the start of the season. I'm just struggling to see how Fulham are going to keep up the success they had last season. I think they will be in the bottom three as well. So those are my 3 relegated teams. Controversial, but you never know in the Premier League.